Did you know that Gen Z born between the years 1997 and 2012 is on track to become the wealthiest generation in the 21st century?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I know. Just hear me out. Gen Z has the highest probability of having the most millionaires and becoming financially independent than any other generations before them. But wait, are we talking about the same Gen Z people who do TikTok dances and use weird slang like slay, bet, cringe, eat, drag, finna, cap, sus, and bussing, which is the new one I learned recently?
Bladow, bet. Yeah, I bet. That means,
And reason number one is that Gen Zers are more financially savvy than any other generation. According to the 2023 Charles Schwab Modern Wealth Survey, Gen Zers are more likely to budget at least once a day, put their cash in a high-yield savings account, and invest in the stock market. And 43% of them, between the ages of 11 and 26, are following some type of influencers on social media who share financial advice. The information flow is so much faster in today's world of social media. The average age at which a Gen Zer starts researching financial planning is 13 years old. It's so much easier for them to research on the internet to find the most effective way to budget, save, invest, and pay off debt. They can learn about the Roth IRA, high-yield savings accounts, stocks, and 401ks on YouTube. They can learn about the 2008 financial crisis in several Hollywood movies. And they can easily gain access to a compound interest calculator on Google search to understand how much they need to invest now so that they can retire comfortably. Let me know in the comment section down below if you're a Gen Zer watching this video. You can also visit my website at firesightshare.com/resources to get your compound interest calculator or download the Roth IRA calculator on the spreadsheet for absolutely free. And according to Investopedia survey, 60% of Gen Zers have savings accounts. Over 54% of them have some type of checking account, and 41% have credit cards. And their average credit card balance is at the lowest compared to any other generation because many of them actually understand that carrying a balance on their credit cards could be detrimental to their financial future. So 90% of them primarily use debit cards for their purchases. And here's the average credit card balance by each generation. Gen Z by far has the lowest credit card balance with an average of $1,963. Millennials have the third highest with $4,322. Gen X has the highest balance with $7,155. And baby boomers have the second highest balance with $6,043, which is not a good thing as they're reaching their retirement age. If Gen Z can maintain a low credit card balance, they're going to have more room in their budget to save for their retirement and possibly early retirement. The best practice is to pay off your credit card balance every single month. And as soon as you start carrying a balance, these credit cards with 25 or 30% interest rates will eat you alive. Trust me, because as a millennial, I once had over $47,000 in total credit card debt, and those credit cards are very predatory if you don't use them properly. And if you're not good at paying off your credit cards every single month, then don't use them at all. And reason number two is that Gen Z right now has a higher savings rate than any other generation because many Gen Zers understand the power of saving money early. And according to BlackRock's study, Gen Z saves on average 14% of their income, and compared to 12% for millennials, not to mention that Gen Z is still in their early 20s. Just imagine how much they can save if they continue with the 14% savings rate. I'm going to show you my compound interest calculator later on in this video. A Transamerica report also found that Gen Z already has $33,000 saved on average compared to $50,000 for millennials and $87,000 for Gen Xers. $33,000 at the age of 26 or below is way ahead of what millennials and Gen X had when they were at that age. They're also more likely to put their money into the stock market or cryptocurrencies. Since Robinhood came out with the idea to eliminate brokerage fees in 2013, it attracted hundreds of thousands of new investors prior to the pandemic. Schwab, Vanguard, Fidelity, and other major brokers followed suit by eliminating all brokerage fees starting in 2019 when they lost a bunch of new investors to Robinhood. And it's so much easier to invest in a stock than it ever was before the year 2019. It used to cost me $10 or $20 every time I bought a stock. Now it's free unless I buy call options or put options. Since many Zoomers are just entering the jobs market, they're likely to have entry-level wages and student loans they need to pay off. So the average and median savings balance will be much lower than millennials and Gen X. Those balances will likely go higher over the years if they continue to save and invest 14% on average of their income and let the compound interest work itself out. I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me on this topic about Gen Zers, but I actually find the report pretty accurate because I have talked to several clients who are considered Gen Z. And these guys and gals in their early 20s are debt-free and learning to invest in their financial independence and retire early in my private client program. I don't find these guys lazy at all like what the mainstream media tells us. I know that not everyone is perfect, but it would be unfair to categorize the entire generation as lazy and incompetent. Financially speaking, on average, they're far ahead of their previous generations. And I'm a millennial, and I can tell you that the level of financial knowledge Gen Zers have is far more advanced than I was at their age. And I had a session with an 18-year-old high school senior a few weeks ago, and she already had over $15,000 saved from working part-time jobs since the age of 15. She didn't receive any of her money from her parents, and I can tell you that she's definitely going places in the future. And only 4% of that age group watches my channel, so it was really awesome that she reached out to me asking questions about the high yield savings account and the Roth IRA. If you're interested in joining my private client program, you can schedule a free one-on-one consultation with me for 20 minutes so that we can get to know each other by visiting firesuch.com/coaching. And reason number 3 is that they're investing more into their retirement than any other generations combined. And as I mentioned earlier, their savings rate on average is 14% of their income. Fidelity published a report about the Gen Z retirement accounts, and the report was astonishing. The average 401k balance increased by 17% over the last quarter, which was the highest of any age group. Gen Z account balances are up 34% from Q1 2022, making them the generation with the most account growth over the last year. And Gen Z saw a 25% increase in Roth IRA accounts opened in Q1 as compared to a year ago. Gen Z females saw a 22% increase in Roth accounts open, and on top of that, female millennials had a year-over-year increase of 19%. That is incredible. And Gen Z chooses to save more money in their Roth IRAs than their 401k. That's probably because they have more investment options in their Roth IRA than they do in their 401ks. And I have met many Zoomers who prioritize maxing out their Roth IRAs every year. This is incredible for people in their early 20s to invest in their Roth IRAs at such a young age. And here's my Roth IRA compound interest calculator, which you can download for free by visiting firesuch.com/resources. Let's say you are the oldest Gen Z born in 1997, so you start investing in your Roth IRA in 2018 at the age of 21. The contribution limit back in 2018 was $5,500, and then the contribution limit was $6,000 from 2019 to 2022. The contribution limit again increased in 2023 to $6,500. To keep the calculation simple, I'm going to have the contribution limit increase by 2% on average every single year. And if you look at the annual returns, this is the S&P 500 annual returns. 2018 was a down market year by a negative 6.24%. 2019 was a huge bull market year with almost 29%. 2020 was 16%. 2021 was almost 27%, and 2022 was a bear market year with a negative 18%. So the average annual return for the last 5 years was about 9.53%. And I'm just going to average it out for the rest of the spreadsheet. And keep in mind that the S&P 500 returns for the last 10 years are almost 13% annually in gross returns. So 9.5% is probably a pretty conservative number going forward. So if a Gen Zer started maximizing their Roth IRA contributions in 2018, that Roth IRA would grow to almost $3 million by the time they reach 60 years of age. Now, you're probably thinking that you can't take your money out of your Roth IRA until 59 and a half, but that's not true at all. If you retire early at the age of 55, not only can you take money out of your 401k early, penalty-free, but you can also take money out of your Roth IRA contributions at any time, and it doesn't matter what your age is. You just can't take the earnings and interest out of your Roth IRA until you're 59 and a half. So if you look at the age of 55, highlighted in green, you're projected to have $1.8 million, but that's with interest and earnings. If you look at column E right here, where it says $299,500, that's the contributions you've made, which you can take out at any time, tax-free and penalty-free, regardless of your age, and because you already pay taxes on the contributions. And Gen Zers have plenty of time to plan for their early retirement with their Roth IRAs. If they have both 401k and Roth IRA invested, they're going to have the option to retire as early as age 55. And keep in mind that the spreadsheet I showed you assumes that the Gen Zers is single. If you get married later on, you and your spouse can each contribute to the Roth IRA. Even if your spouse doesn't work, as long as both of you file your taxes jointly, you can still each open a Roth IRA and contribute up to the maximum. And reason number 4 is that Gen Zers are not going to college due to rising inflation. They're choosing to do more trades or go to a community college for 2 years and then transfer to a university for the last 2 years. And take a look at this article from Business Insider. This is not the only publisher that has articles about the statistics for college admissions. More and more Gen Zers have decided to skip college altogether, and 4 million fewer teenagers enrolled at a college in 2022 than in 2012. From 2010 to 2022, college tuition rose an average of 12% a year, while overall inflation only increased an average of 2.6% each year. It's insane to even think that it will cost at least $104,108 on average to attend a 4-year university and $223,360 for a private university. How could their parents or grandparents from Gen X or baby boomers possibly afford their kids or grandkids college? And at the same time, Gen Zers realize that even after graduation, their income is probably not going to be enough to repay student loans they had taken out. The Pew Research Center found that earnings for young college-educated workers have remained mostly flat over the past 50 years. Even after graduating college, 33% of students earn less than $40,000 a year, which is lower than the average salary of $44,000 that workers with only a high school diploma earn. So not only do these college students earn less than those high school grads, but they would owe tens of thousands of dollars in student loans. It's simply not cost effective anymore unless they're going to become a lawyer or doctor or an engineer. And I'm a millennial, which is a generation that was constantly told by their parents how important college education was, no matter the cost. The Pew Research Survey showed in 2014 that 63% of millennials valued a college education or plan to get one. Gen Z, on the other hand, only 41% of respondents believed that US colleges and universities were necessary, and the pandemic made them rethink about their lives and careers. The ultimate question was whether a 4-year degree was really necessary to earn a high income. Now, those who attend college are focusing on degrees like engineering, computer science, artificial intelligence, data science, business analytics, and social media. Harvard reported that majors in computer science and engineering have soared, while humanities, liberal arts, history, English, and philosophy have plummeted to 7%, which is down from 20% a decade earlier. Fewer Gen Z will have student loans, which means they will have more room in their budget for cash savings, retirement, and to just enjoy life. Gen Zers are watching their millennial or Gen X parents with massive amounts of student loans that they've been desperately trying to pay off for many years. In my honest opinion, these student loans are not predatory. These universities and colleges that charge you tens of thousands of dollars in tuition fees are the predatory ones. And speaking of education, reason number 5 that Gen Z will become more financially successful is that they are receiving more financial education in schools than any of the previous generations combined. As of 2023, there are 18 states that require schools to teach personal finance and literacy. We can all agree that personal finances should be taught in every school at the minimum, starting in the sophomore year of high school, because that's when most kids are eligible to work a part-time job. According to Next Gen Personal Finance, or NGPF, a nonprofit that provides educational resources and advocates for financial literacy in schools, the percentage of high schoolers guaranteed to take a personal finance course was increased to 40.5% of the nation in 2023, compared with 22.7% of students in 2022. And the topics they're teaching currently are income, spending, saving, investing, managing credit, and managing risk. I'm sure many of you baby boomers, Gen Xers, and millennials watching this video would agree that having these courses in high school could have helped us make better financial decisions, right? And it's not just about learning the numbers. And I'm a financial coach, so I teach people how to make better financial decisions. If I simply tell high school Gen Zers to spend less than they make, then they're probably going to call me Captain Obvious and probably tell me to get into a different profession. But what if I teach high schoolers that they could buy a car in 5 years with an investment account of almost $23,000 if they invested $300 a month in an index fund that generates an 8% average annual return. Then that's probably going to get their attention, and they're more likely to ask more questions that will help them make better financial decisions in the future, right? And whether you like it or not, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and the generations that come after them are going to be our future. Financial literacy needs to be a requirement to ensure the survivability of the human race. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. And this has been another beast of a video, and I hope you got a lot out of it.